Did OMSystem upset somebody in a former life? I'm beginning to question that because it seems the whole world's turning against them. Keep watching, I'll tell you why. Roll titles. Hi YouTube, Brian James at Micro Four Thirds Guy with you once again. And yes, have OMSystem upset somebody in the past? It seems that everything's going against them in some ways, and I really feel sorry for them. And I don't believe that this time it's anything to do with them. I may be wrong, but I'll tell you why I may be wrong in a second, so keep watching. But I'm outside in the sunshine for the first time in ages in the UK. Still got my fleece on though. It's still a bit too chilly for me just to go in t-shirt. But yes, I managed to get outside. Got a cup of my favourite brew in hand, so I'll enjoy that as I'm talking. But yeah, reading 43rumours.com. Good to see 43rumours.com. Thank you very much for the information you hand out to us. This was issued by Olympus Japan, and it said it was issued on the April the 11th, 2024, and I've just managed to see it now. But regarding camera firmware updates for customers using Mac OS, and I'll read actually what it says on here straight from my iPad. So excuse my eyes going down. Quote, currently we are using our software OM Workspace to update the firmware of our digital cameras. But due to security enhancements associated with Mac OS updates, there is a possibility that camera firmware updates may no longer be possible. Therefore, if you have cameras or lenses that have not yet had their firmware updated, we ask that you update them as soon as possible. Please note that Windows Update services will continue to be available. We hope they will continue to use our products. Now, I've had dealings with Apple quite a lot over the years, and it can be a little bit painful at times when it comes to updates and things like that. I remember I did a gig once. I use backing tracks for most of my gigs. I'm just going to turn this around. The sun's very bright at the moment, so if I'm squinting, I apologise. But yeah, I remember once I did an update on an iPad just before doing a gig, and I had about 700 backing tracks on there for my music and for all the bits and pieces I do, and the whole lot disappeared. So I wasn't very happy over that. There's a car coming in, so just wait for the car to disappear. That's better. So yes, there is a bit of a history in that, and there's a couple of things it could be. It's Apple do tend to do these things now and again, and with their operating system, it's a very closed-down operating system compared to Windows. That's what makes it so good in some ways. You can't get people getting in and using backdoors to fiddle around with the system. But at the same time, it does preclude some of the working methods. And I feel in this case, OMSystem has probably been heavily done by on this one. It's been an update for security, and it's blocking the cameras. Now, I first heard of this last week. There was a few reports of people having OM1s and OM1 Mark IIs freeze up halfway through the update process. And that was rather worrying because, of course, it's a return back to manufacturer job if it can be fixed. So that was a bit worrying then, and obviously it's come out there. So if you are going to update your Mac OS and you haven't done your firmware updates for your camera, I would suggest you get on and do it quickly. I said it could be down to OMSystem. It is possible that the software itself is using some of those back doors which aren't officially sanctioned to enable it to work. I don't know what's going on in the operating system. If that is the case, then it's one of those sort of things that people do when they're programming all the time. They find ways to get around what they want to do. But unfortunately, it does cause problems down the line when somebody closes that door off, because you don't have a comeback. They say, well, it wasn't one of our approved methods for communicating with the machine. So that was the first thing. Having said that, I've been I'm just looking. There's another car coming. I'm going to have to turn around. It's a rather nice. Let's see if I can see where it is. Rather nice little Ferrari pulled in beside me. Now, if I'm going to have a car noise in the background, I might as well have something nice like a Ferrari. So yes, open motoring in a Ferrari, that suits me. Yeah, the newest thing I saw on 43 Rumours, which has literally just come up now, and it says this: you won't believe this. Generation Z shows an increase in interest in Lumix G100 and Olympus EP7 cameras, and it shows quite a growth on that. The small cameras, and there's all sorts of reasons for this that you could associate with it, but I'm going to pin it on one reason. I'm going to go on a limb and say that probably the biggest reason for this is Emily Lowry on Microphone Nerds channel. I made a video about her the other day saying how impressed I am with her videos. Well, she's always going on about GM1 and GM5 and all these small cameras and things, and I wouldn't be surprised if she's not been a huge influence on this, and if she has, then good on her, because I think this is wonderful. So yes, what do we do about OMSystem? Well, I think it's a very, very difficult sort of thing. You might end up having to buy a Windows PC just to be able to update your camera, or it might be a case of having to take it to your local camera dealer as well, because a local camera dealer should be hopefully able to upgrade your firmware. But this really is quite a big thing, because we rely on these updates. We've waited a couple of years for the updates for the OM1, the Mark 1 OM1, and we're already into a second, I think it is, update on the OM1 Mark 2. We need these firmware updates. We need it to get rid of the bugs. And this isn't having to go at OMSystem. It's having to go at almost any manufacturer's electronic goods these days, whether it be a mobile phone or a camera or a washing machine or whatever it is that's connected to the internet. It does seem to be that a lot of the testing isn't done in-house. A lot of the real hard testing isn't done in-house. And there's a reliance on the consumer to find the bugs, report them back and get them fixed. And if that is the case, and I'm not saying it is with the OMSystem, by the way, I actually think it's quite the opposite. I think they've done a fantastic job in getting the cameras out in the usable state they are. But there are problems. We've had problems with the autofocus and things on the original OM1, which Robin Wong's has alluded to a few times. And it does sort of get to me that if we do have these bugs and we have bought something, not a small investment, these are major investments that we're talking about when we're talking about over £2,000 or $2,000 for a camera body. These are not whim buys, bought on a whim. So, excuse me, coffee time. So I do believe that it's important that these firmware updates are easy to apply, easy to get hold of, and don't cause further problems. So I'm going to be watching this and seeing how it goes. I'm very, very concerned. Obviously not for me, because I'm way down the line. But having, my cameras are older. But having said that, it doesn't really stop the problem, because the problem is on any camera firmware update. It's not just the OM1 and OM1 Mark II. This is OM Workspace, and this is all of your Olympus cameras and lenses. So it's a whole camera system which is now being taken out of the loop when it comes to Mac users. And an awful lot of photographers are Mac users, because it just tends to be a very, very good platform for doing a lot of the post-editing and things on. So this is a major blow, and I'd be interested to see what happens with other manufacturers. I'd be surprised if Olympus, OMSystem I should say, I'm surprised if they're going to be the only ones, the first ones to come out, and probably the first ones to stick their hands up and say it, because they're the first ones that this is affected. But I've got a feeling if this is the case, it's probably going to affect all camera manufacturers. Anyway, let me know what you think. It's been a bit of a while since I did a video, so it's nice to be back online again. The weather's been lousy. We had hailstones yesterday here in Carlisle, but it's nice to be able to get back online again. Going to be doing another live stream, and I was asked about live streams as to, I used to do some on a Sunday, why don't I do them on a Sunday anymore? And there's a very good reason for that. I won't do them on a Sunday and I won't do them on a Thursday, because we have an excellent live stream for the Micro Four Thirds market on a Thursday from Robin Wong. If you don't watch that, tune into it. It's superb. It really is a good conversation. Also on the Sunday afternoon UK time, we have Rob Trek does his great live stream, and I do not want to step on their toes. They do fantastic live streams, and a lot of the people who view their live streams view mine as well. So it would be silly for me to put myself up against them on time, and to do it on the same day. Even somebody's done an hour and a half, 2 hours of a live stream for somebody else. They're not going to want to do an hour and a half or 2 hours with a live stream for me as well. It's just silly. So my live streams will be on different days. I'm going to start doing them more regularly. Lifestyle's coming into play, because we're here, there and everywhere. So it's always easy to do a regular live stream. Yep. The siren's coming. They're after me. They found me. So, yeah, so live streams I will be doing probably on Tuesdays if I do start doing live streams. Oh, it's a fire engine. That's interesting. So, if you are up for the live streams, I'd love to see you there, but I won't be conflicting with the current Micro Four Thirds users' live streams because they are so good and really enjoyable. And something for me to aspire towards because they're fantastic. However, I would just like to say, if you have any thoughts about this, if you've had the problems with your OMSystem camera or your Olympus camera or lenses doing the firmware update, let me know below. I'd be interested to find out what the response has been from both OMSystem and from Apple if you contacted us. So if you have had contact, let us know below, because this could really help other people. The other thing is as well, if you like the channel, give me a big thumbs up for this video. It really does help. And if you're not a subscriber, 60% of my viewers are not subscribers, so hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny and it doesn't commit you to anything, but it just puts it up in your subscribe stream. And also, I'd like to say a big thank you to these wonderful people. As I always do, these are my Patreon patrons, and there's a link to my Patreon page below. And also, if you'd like to buy me a one-off, a cup of coffee or a special or a super thanks, have a look below. There's a PayPal link in the description, or there's a super thanks button below. But until the next time, keep on taking your camera out, keep on having fun with your photography. Bye bye.